Cool Cloud, I have my man Andy King. Now, the last time I saw you, Andy King, we were at Rye Playland, right?
That's exactly correct. We took the young people up there to finish out the summer, and thanks courtesy of your invitation, young people had a fantastic time.
And that was with COPA, the Correction Officers Benevolent Association. They opened up Rye Playland, shut it down.
Oh, yeah.
For all of the workers and families and all the people that we wanted to invite down, and we just had a great time. We had the music out there, we had food, we had rides, we had everything that we needed, all the beautiful people, and I would thank you for coming down too. You always travel with that wonderful group of youngsters, very respectable. Now, do you look for them to be that way, or you teach them within your organization to be that way?
It's a combination of both. What we attempt to do is recruit young people who are committed, and those who may not be so much committed, but help them to learn that to be successful in life, you have to commit yourself to self-development. And if you're able to do that, opportunities do arrive.
And we're talking about, of course, YEP, Y-E-P. What does it stand for?
The Bronx Youth Empowerment Program.
Right. Now, tell us, you started it when?
We started it back in 2005. I was working for Fernando Cabrera, who was running, Ferreira, who was running for mayor, and we put together a youth peace component for him, and after the campaign was over, young people were inspired to continue to do things. So I said, hey, let's form a program that allow young people to be civically engaged, community active, and bring some political awareness to the next generation.
Yeah, and now the people within your organization, like I said, they were well-mannered and very respectable, and they just know how to treat people. They have the common courtesy and everything going on, and I just, love it. And it feels good when they're able to, and I see you guys all over, you're up in Albany. It feels good, like when you're able to see young people just present themselves the way they do.
Right, well, one of the things that I was taught in order to get things accomplished, presentation is everything. So what we do with young people, we get them in the room to help them understand themselves, to bring self-awareness to themselves. And then once you're able to do that, we give them the manners, the etiquette of how do you behave in certain environments. Every environment doesn't require the same behavior. You have to be able to adjust and adapt to your environment. So that's what we try to help young people do.
So you give them that etiquette. Now, if they sat at a restaurant and had a bowl of soup, they wouldn't...
Oh, you wouldn't
slip
hear
it on.
No. And Lord knows we've taken 25 of us sitting at a table.
Forks to the left.
Yeah. And calm conversations, not yelling and screaming, not bringing attention to yourself.
Right. What types of things does your organization, YEP, do for the community?
Well, the things that we do with the young people is get them involved, going out to community board meetings, engage them in community education council meetings. You've mentioned earlier that, yes, we have gone to Albany to lobby elected officials against cuts in education and health care. Recently, we have done a Youth on Youth Stop the Violence rally. With all the youth on youth crime that's happening, as opposed to just targeting crime total, we're just saying, we need to stop hurting each other as 16-year-olds and 17-year-olds. We got to find a way to get along, because if this generation doesn't get it right, then it's going to look very bleak for us in the future.
There'll be a gap. There'll be a gap in there. Now, how do you get more people involved?
Well, the way we've been recruiting is each one recruits one. So the young people themselves go out and recruit people, and not so much that they recruit friends, but they recruit young people who they believe will meet standards that they want to continue to have in the Bronx Youth Empowerment Program. Our students maintain a 75 grade point average. They have to maintain three or more plus YEP meetings in order to be a part of it. And then once they're able to meet those certain criteria, because they have their 15 codes of conduct, how they conduct themselves. So when they do that, those are the criteria they use to recruit. Currently, we were in Richard R. Green Middle School. This year, we're going to be in Evander Childs campus and also Richard Green Middle School. So we have expanded the pool of recruitment.
Yeah. What are those 15 codes? What are
they? There are a lot.
Are they secret or?
No, they're not. They're not secret codes. But it's just their codes of conduct. From when they're having a conversation with one mic, no profanity, keeping a positive mental attitude, proper dress code, and respecting themselves. Think before they speak.
Yes.
Those are just a few of the codes that they maintain to govern themselves, and to everything that they implement within the meetings, they implement outside of the room, because it doesn't just, you don't hold on to something because you utilize it in a particular setting, but understand that people are watching you when you leave this room. So with that being said, these are the guidelines that they set for themselves, so they know how to behave appropriately.
How important is it for parents to get their child involved in something positive?
it's always a positive learning tool to have parents involved. We are fortunate to have a number of parents to get involved. If parents don't support any program, it doesn't motivate the youngsters to actually engage and be committed and responsible to the program. So what we try to do is incorporate parents, give them tasks so they can take ownership of the program also, and then it tends to flourish in such a way.
Do they come to your meetings? Do they go to the schools?
Yes, we've had
Parent-teacher
parents.
meetings and everything?
Yes, well, when we do go to the parent-teachers meetings, some parents have attended, joined us when we would go, but they do come to our meetings. It's so important to have the support of parents. And I say this in the classroom, I tell the kids, your most important learning doesn't happen when you're in the school. The retention of information is what you do outside of that school building. So if your home life is a little stable with parents supporting, then you're okay. One of the problems that the educational system has is that if parents do not support the kids, especially our young brothers, with all the stuff that they have with crime and drugs and poverty, how do you expect a young brother to continue to learn when he has to face all these challenges, and then his parents has to work 2 and 3 jobs and they're at home? You know, in more affluent neighborhoods, a kid can go home and parents there to help them with their homework. But in our communities, you know, because of the economic situations, parents may not be there available to help a young person sit down with their homework.
What do you tell youngsters, or what does your organization tell youngsters about bullying?
Bullying is someone with low self-esteem. And in order for them to feel bigger and better than the next person, they have to dump their stuff on someone else. So we ask our young people, you know, to be confident, to understand themselves. If you understand yourself, appreciate yourself, or like yourself, then you're not worried about trying to knock the next person down. And that's one thing we do emphasize: brotherly and sisterly love. We look after each other like a family, and no one disrespects the next one. Of course, young people will be young people, and they have their moments, but then, hey, every moment is a learning moment. So then we just help them navigate through all the stuff that they're going through in teen years.
What's next for YEP?
Well, what's next for YEP? We're getting ready to kick off our school year. We just had our back to school rally, and then on October 3rd, we officially begin school sessions at Evander Childs High School. We will be having some what we call our connections, where we meet with NYPD. We're going to be doing some stuff with gangs. If you've probably heard just recently, there was a young gentleman by the name of Jeffrey Taylor who was just murdered on the way going to work. And sadly, he was a friend of mine. I grew up with him. So myself, along with some of the blacks in law enforcement, are coming together to have a conversation with youth in the community through YEP to help them understand what gangs are doing these days, to identify how to stay away from gangs. And if you want to be a part of a gang, be a part of an organization that's going to allow you to produce positive things and survive instead of paying consequences for negative actions.
Yeah, let me know. I want to be a part of that.
Yes.
Let me know about that. Speaking of gangs, you know, a lot of people don't have their mothers and fathers or people in their family to embrace them and show them love, so they reach out to somebody like a gang member to get involved. What do you say about that?
I would say to them, the first thing you need to do, if you don't have any home support, please seek out your school. Go to your schools first. And I know there may be a trust factor within the educational system, but you need to go to people who are doing the positive things. And then from there, then you'll possibly be able to get directed in the right direction. Whether you join an athletic team, because that allows teamwork and positive reinforcement, or you seek out organizations like the Bronx Youth Empowerment Program. But we're there, we're in the schools, we try to advertise, and I'd tell any young person, while you're in school, be a part of school life. Be a part of campus life. Join the math club. Join the band. Join something at campus, because it occupies your time, so you're not out there wasting your time. And you know, if you're wasting time,
idle time.
Hey, it's the devil's workshop. So we want to make sure young people, as we say, young people, please be involved in something that's going to help productivity in your life instead of destructiveness.
And finally, what's next for Andy King?
Well, what's next for Andy King? 2 things. I'm an organizer for 1199, and we're getting ready to host a clergy community breakfast to give updates on President Obama's healthcare reform, how it's having an impact and a positive on the Bronx. And yes, I am running for city council in the 12th district to represent the area of Co-op City, Wakefield, Baychester, Eastchester, and Garden Hill. So I'm looking to do that also.
And you're going to win.
Yes, we will.
Is Obama going to win?
Yes, he will.
All right. Andy King, thank you so much. It was always a pleasure to talk to you.
Thank you so much. A pleasure.
All right. Andy King from YEP. YEP stands for
Youth Empowerment Program.
All right.